The first thing I do this morning is trip once again over Kenji's package as I get out of bed, finding myself diving headfirst into the floor before I'm even fully awake. This damn package, I really don't trust it. I want to smack this thing with the first blunt object I can find, like I'm going for a home run. But I don't even have the energy for that this early in the morning, and it would likely damage whatever is inside, and that would be mean. Like we care. I slide it into the hallway. It sails along the smooth floor with little difficulty and stops with a soft and almost inaudible bump on colliding with Kenji's door. Immediately, a dozen locks unbolt in succession like a mounting symphony. "Who is it?" he says as he blindly steps forward into the hallway anyway, somehow stepping over the box in a way that would be uncharacteristically, impressively graceful if it weren't for the fact I know it was wholly accidental. "It's me. I got your mail. You're standing over it." "I know. Thanks a lot, man." "Yeah, whatever. So, what's in it?" He cringes, instantly turning very defensive and agitated. "It's nothing, man." "Come on, tell me. I'm curious." "And I almost broke my neck falling over it, and before that I had to carry this stupidly large box around with it blocking my vision, crossing roads with it in front of me. I think you can at least tell me what's inside in return exactly. That's the least that you owe us, Kenji." "It's secret stuff, man. I can't tell you, because then it wouldn't be very secret and shit. It's nothing important." "Well, if it's nothing important, you can tell me, right?" If it's nothing important, why do you have to know?" "Why is that wrong?" "What do you have to know?" "Why can't I know?" "Why are you answering my questions with questions?" "Why won't you answer my first question? Are you really going to— oh my god. Why won't you answer my last question?" "Because you didn't answer our first question." I realize our voices are getting higher with each reply. Down the hall, a door pops open, and someone sticks his head out quizzically to see what is going on. To no surprise, he's like, it's this freaking Kenji again. We must look like such tools, but I bet I'm the only one out of the two of us with enough shame to realize it. "Fine, you can take it to your grave. I have to get ready for school anyway." "Damn, no! Why are you leaving so hasty? Or why are you so hasty to leave? Stick around a little, man. You want some coffee? It's been a while. I thought you were dead since you were so slow with the package delivery." "You're lucky I was willing to do the package delivery in the first place, smartass." "Whoa, calm down. Man, you were so confrontational. Is it because of the student council thing? I hear you hang out with them a lot now." "You heard it from me when I told you." "Really?" "Yeah, well, whatever, man. The point is, they're terrible. You're the new guy, so of course you wouldn't know, but around here, she's a very divisive figure. Before you came here, she tried to institute a badge policy. It's a long story, so maybe you should sit down." "Alright, I'll sit on your package." I look around for a chair, but I can't find one as we are in a goddamn hallway. I raise a finger and start thinking that I maybe should tell him that, but he's already started talking. Not wanting to waste the arm movement, I look at my watch instead. "It would have been a real reign of terror if it had happened, man." "Wait, you're judging her based on something that didn't even happen?" "Yes. Anyway, her idea was like merit badges, but there would also be demerit badges." "What would those do?" "I don't know. It never happened, man. But it seemed bad, though. So when I heard about it, I didn't leave my room for a few weeks." "So you heard there would be a massive change and hid in your room, trying to just ride the change out?" "Nah, I decided to do something about it." "From inside his room, okay." "I found the student council office after a while and marched right in with a list of demands. and a bunch of people I grabbed in order to make myself look like I had supporters. Wait, so not only did it not happen, but no one even cared? Kenji doesn't hear me, having gotten the good momentum going. Wrapped up in the energy of his own ranting, he starts to completely flip out and flail his arms, appearing to wildly throw gang signs. He's not freaking Brian. I walked up the desk and said to her, "Hey, you fascist woman! What is this badge idea? How out of touch can you be here in your ivory tower, smugly looking down upon us like we're just a bunch of idiots? Who do you think we are? Your level of elitism is terrible. You're probably one of those outrageous rich people who have chauffeurs drive them around slums so they can point and laugh." She's also not Hillary Clinton, what the fuck? "And also drink pricey coffee beans that shot out by the last living dinosaur and brewed in a solid gold skull. And how could you? Go open a history book. Don't you know that the bourgeois are always overthrown in the bloody revolution for shit like this? Stupid man, you're an idiot." Sure, the revolutionaries usually end up turning everything into an utter clusterfuck later on, but a maniac is the only kind of person who would create a policy like this. It's something I would create to make people suffer, only real, and you want to institutionalize it. Where will this desecration of our rights end? We are people. This is not justice." That's what I said. Then I added a cry. "They can take our things, but they'll never take our freedom!" To appeal to the masses, like in that movie about the life of William Wallace, when he took out his things, but not his freedom, and then he killed him. That sounds like a horrible movie. But she just ignored me, and didn't even look up from writing in her little paper and shit. Maybe I overwhelmed her with my logic so badly that she just retreated into denial. Maybe she is just an asshole. God, he is going on such a huge rant. Either way, she didn't reply, and the future refused to change. I'm pretty sure Misa wasn't even there, and Shizune was just like, I'm not even noticing Kenji is here or anyone else. To top it off, on the way back, I realized I had lost my student ID somewhere. This is the story of my life. A constant and seemingly futile struggle, like trying to climb up a brick wall with sponges for hands. Hey, you said nothing changed, but she didn't make everyone wear a stupid bunch of badges. So, it did change. Yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe they're not so bad then. I guess that counts for something. If I can get Kenji to admit that maybe 2 women may not be so bad after all, I'll take it. Especially if it allows me to slip out of this conversation. I didn't realize how much time had gone by. Damn. I feel like that is the weirdest rant by Kenji so far yet. Damn. I try to run through my usual morning routine as quickly as possible. I check my watch again as I leave the dorms and see that I'm already late. Fortunately, the rest of the day goes more smoothly, and after classes are over, I head to meet with Shizune again. Behind the school, I catch her leaning against a completed stand with parts of it still flecked with bits of paper and tape, remnants of signs from the last time it was used. Absent-mindedly spinning a nail in her hand, she hasn't noticed me yet. The temptation to sneak up on her is unbearable. Years of watching foreign wildlife documentaries have prepared me for this. I'm downwind. Conditions are favorable. However, the more I think about it, the more it seems like a bad idea. If I get caught halfway, I'll look like an idiot, and if she doesn't know it's me, I could end up with an injury. Either way, I'll also look a little insensitive. So, it would probably not be best to try anything funny, as disappointing as it is. I walk in front of her, startling her a little. Why so surprised? Did I catch you slacking off? No, I was taking a break. You don't look like you even broke a sweat. That's some break there, President. Shizune's eyes dart back and forth momentarily, and I think I've managed to fluster her. There's exasperation on her face, and a little tension as well, but she can't back down. That will be unthinkable for her. Her fingers dance across each other impatiently. You're acting competitive today. Are you trying to get my blood boiling? Do you want to make it a contest? We'll race to see who can construct the most stalls by shutdown. Yeah, okay, we've lost already. No, I'm just teasing you. That's okay. It's not a real student council if you can't tease the student council president a little. Don't you agree? That isn't in the student council charter, so it isn't true. So if it isn't in the charter, it's fake or it's not true. There is no charter. At least, I don't think there is. The only thing they pledge loyalty to are a stack of takeout menus. That's something I would pledge loyalty as well. Anyway, it's good that you're finally here. Even if you could have been earlier, pick up a hammer and we'll resume where we left off. As we work assembling stalls again, I slowly realized that it's really much less work than I would have expected. In fact, according to Shizune, we should be done by the end of the day with a little luck. Oh, that's great, it only takes an entire freaking day. The last time I did something like this for them, it took her, Misha, and myself almost 4 days to do it. It can't just be my imagination. You know, this doesn't seem like that much work. Because it isn't. The answer leaves me wanting a little more. Knowing that isn't the best, Shizune puts down her hammer to elaborate. It would be impossible for 2 people to do that much work in less than a week. The truth is, I don't dismantle half the stalls. I just store them someplace else. Actually, more like I hide them in plain sight. Ah, smart. She waggles a finger mischievously. But that's a secret, and it's not proper to reveal the tricks of the trade. You're not a magician. Winking, she takes out 2 plastic containers from her bag, and then puts them down on a nearby board before raising her hand slightly, as if to say, ta-da! I made lunch for both of us today. That still doesn't make you a magician either. Look, I just magically made 2 containers of food appear for both of us. You can have this one. The food shifted in my bag, and now some of it is mixed together. She hands me one of the containers. I open it. It looks delicious, if a little simple. Hey, simplicity can be delicious too. She hands me a pair of chopsticks, as we had just remembered to, and I eat what looks like some grilled beef. It's very tasty. You don't like your food touching other food? I do not. You're very picky indeed. Sometimes I mix my food on my own, but not always and not everything. I don't like it when it's done for me. What is important is the choice. The weird thing about it is that I actually can somewhat, not necessarily agree, but I weirdly enough did that too. I like to keep my food so kind of separated, and I eat it separated as well. I used to do that a lot. Nowadays not so much, because my girlfriend convinces me that it's much better to eat it all together, you know. But for some reason, whenever I had like rice, meat, vegetables, I would always just eat like, alright, meat, vegetables, or the rice, and then I save the vegetables for last. And I would just eat it in a particular order, even though you can all just kind of jumble it together, and it's pretty good as well, or if not pretty good, even better sometimes. But I don't know why I did that, but I guess I was just kind of like Shizune in that regard. But the reason is I don't even know why. She has a particular reason behind it. I actually did not, other than just being a freaking weirdo. She points decisively to emphasize it, and then breaks her chopsticks apart to eat her own meal. As I continue to eat, I notice 2 things. The first is that almost everything I'm eating besides the rice is fried. Even the vegetables are fried. And there's so much meat. Does she eat this kind of stuff all the time? I wonder how she manages to stay so thin in spite of it. The second thing I notice is that I can't talk to her while eating. Talking with your mouth full is a little rude anyway, but with our hands holding our chopsticks and bowls, communication between us is impossible, just like yesterday. Even though we're spending time together, even though I took the time to learn sign language, it feels like I'm talking to her less. Despite that, it also feels like I'm understanding her more. Oh, what? Lily is here? Uh-oh. I hear the sound of something tapping against one of the stands and look up to see Lily standing off to my side, feeling her way around with her cane. Hi. I narrowly catch myself before I can say, didn't see you there. And then Lily would say, me too, ha 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 ha. Okay. Oh, Hisao, is that you? I thought that I smelled something delicious cooking and wondered who it might be. What is she saying? You can just make sure, like, what? Did she just talk shit about me, huh? Is that what Lily did? It's hard to move my hands in parallel to saying something completely different to Lily. This has to be why Misha just signs everything all the time. A bit sillier, but it seems like it would simplify things a lot. Uh-oh. You know, the weirdest thing about this is that normally, you know, we are being put into the Misha role right now, which for a novice sign language person is a pretty hard thing to do. Like, we just learned sign language. We're not even great at it, and now we're already being put into a position where we're actually translating for Shizune to Lily. Well, actually that doesn't really work, because okay, but you know, well, it works kinda, but she can't see the signing, but you know what I mean, right? We're actually translating what Shizune says, or what Lily says to Shizune, and then when Shizune signs something, we have to actually then translate it for Lily to understand as well. So, oh god, we're starting to feel the pain that Misha feels every single day. Shizune tensed her fingers delightedly at my translation, as if from hearing a joke. All of this food was cooked hours ago, but for someone as slow as yourself who can't even turn in a piece of paper without being a week late, I guess your perception of time would have to be a little different. Did you really have to insult her, Shizune? Uh-oh. That's not very nice. A frown crosses Lily's face in response to a reply to something she didn't hear. Sorry. I'm just having a late lunch here. The student council president cooked everything. Is the student council president here right now? She is right here. That's the weirdest thing, right? That's actually the thing that's really both interesting and makes things weird and awkward between this entire situation, is that, you know, Lily can talk, but Shizune can't hear it. Shizune can see Lily, but Lily can't see Shizune, you know? So, the one disability that the other has is actually one of the stronger suits that the other person has. Oh god. I apologize. I didn't notice. Normally her level of presence is much higher. I was not aware that the student council serves lunch outdoors. Why wasn't I invited? I think that it is good to have enough free time to be able to do things like this, however. What is she saying? Oh god. If I were to invite you anywhere, you would just show up late. But Shizune's words are outside of Lily's perception, a fact that is by the second increasingly maddening to her. Translate for me completely, please. Uh-oh. I just feel like this is not a fun situation to be in. Oh my god. Because it's like, you know, Shizune and Lily don't like each other, and we're being forced to we are forced to be in the middle of things, right? Oh my god, please, can I just escape? Dig a hole, go in there, and just escape? What polite phrasing. It's a shame she's essentially asking me to do or to let her fully release the dogs of war. Still, I can't just do nothing. The feeling of being unable to even respond and be understood is so isolating. She would never forgive me. I'll just try to soften her words a little. Well, actually, this was all cooked a while ago. Really? That's nice. Turn over here. It's very disrespectful to not look at the person you're speaking to. That isn't the way a prim and proper lady should conduct herself. Oh my god. Like, she's finding every single little excuse to insult or to like nitpick at Lily's behavior. Aww. I'm really wondering the reason, like, why the bad blood is between these two characters. Like, why? They're family. They actually got along at some point. What exactly happened? Half of what I'm saying is really what Shizune is saying. She doesn't like it when people don't look in her direction when she's trying to make a point. She's, to the right of my voice. Although in this case, I can understand why Lily wouldn't. This is a very awkward situation, and it's daunting being the sole conduit for dialogue between the two of them. Truthfully, I had forgotten what happened the last time they butted heads like this. It's clear Shizune remembers, and Lily is pretty hostile herself in her own way. I'm sorry, such formalities slipped my mind completely. I forgot that the student council president is the type of person who would demand such respect and adherence to the rules at all times. I suppose student government requires you to keep a tight ship. Then again, she certainly has time for her own fun as well. So that must not be completely true. Oh, the cheap shots at each other. Student council is not a dictatorship, nor a zero-sum game. Shizune points at Lily with her finger out like a barrel of a gun and snaps her fingers explosively, causing her to flinch and become visibly upset. Is that so? Then that makes it more impressive that you have been a part of it for so long, playing it as though it were one. I admire the fact that you are so tenacious. To manage it all, you must be so responsible as well. Not as much as I would like to be. You can't complain about yourself, though, can you? You're very responsible, acting like requesting a deadline to be extended and then running all the way through the next deadline. That's the very model of responsibility. Shizune is happy to hear that, but apparently you're pretty responsible yourself, she says. Does she really? More or less, wasn't it just incredibly sarcastic? Lily doesn't seem very happy. We're not holding a cookout, we're just taking a little lunch break. We're actually out here building stalls for the festival. And the thing is, like, you know, we both have to explain the situation to Lily because she can't see exactly what's going on, and then we have to translate to Shizune what Lily says and what the conversation is about because she can't hear us. So, like, we're both having to play or make up for the disability or weakness of the other person. So we're acting as the eyes of Lily while at the same time acting as the ears of Shizune, and then we're also in the middle of this, like, half argument between two people that are, you know, making snide comments towards each other. Oh my god, that's a really horrible situation to be in. You wouldn't know, since you never go outside. Did you run out of tea? Oh my god, Shizune! Are you going into town shopping? And then we have to obviously, you know, try to make it sound like Shizune is actually saying it in a nice and polite way, even though she absolutely doesn't mean it that way. But I'm pretty sure Lily knows that we're trying to say it in a nice way, but Shizune doesn't mean it in such a nice way. Oh my god. Ah, poor Hisao. No, as I said before, I was just passing by, in case you did not hear. I would hate to interrupt the student council president. You're not doing anything now, but you must both be very busy. In any case, Hisao, I'm sure that the student council president will be able to find or make for both of you, make work for the both of you if she needs to. Okay. Like, Lily really puts emphasis on saying student council president every single time Shizune, when she references to Shizune, instead of just, you know, saying the simple name, calling the simple name of Shizune, but no, she has to say student council president. So I feel like, what if they were just, you know, both part of the student council at some point, and there was a different president, and then when the previous president left, they both actually ran for president, and that's where, you know, their friendship started to sort of crumble. It could be that. And then, you know, for some reason, I don't know how Shizune actually managed to win, considering that Lily is the more popular amongst the students. But that might be a reason for their friendship to have, you know, deteriorated and eventually turned into, well, not a friendship anymore. I'll devour you! Holy shit, she looks so angry. Yeah, very busy. Devour is a hard word. I'm pleased that I can read it. This isn't the time to celebrate though. Not over that. Instead, it looks like they might stop quabbling. I would drink to that. Have a nice day, Hisao. Goodbye, Student Council President. Thanks. You too. Stay classy. Wow. How did we survive that? As soon as Lily leaves, Shizune dives into the remaining of her lunch as quickly as possible, as if each bite she shovels away is a means to forgetting any of this ever happened. And when she is done, she heads right back to hammering with the same mindset. It's good that she's working off her frustration, but now it doesn't look like she's in any mood to talk anymore. About 2 hours later, she stops, having mowed through the rest of the stalls non-stop in that time. It still feels hard to approach her, and I think about how easily a conversation can die. After it took so long to be able to get her alone and speak to her directly, it almost hurts. Your translation was good. Really? First class. She punctuates it with a thumbs up. Wow. We're actually getting praised by Shizune? Yay! For your level, oh my god! I thought she was just praising us and then she has to undermine the praise again. Oh, you were really good, you were great, you were amazing! For a noob. And then you're like, oh damn. You know, if you had that left, if you left that last part out, I would have stayed happy, you know, I would have been happy. You could have just stopped right there, but nope, you had to go and say that last part. There aren't many deaf people in the school, and sign language classes have been on the edge of getting cut for a while now. I'm sure you don't have many classmates. Am I right? If you're only learning sign language now, your speed is going to be limited. That is why interest in it wanes, because it takes more effort than normal just to communicate. I imagine it's the same with all languages. In such a situation, conversation in sign language are less than it would inherently be to start with. I don't understand that word. Less what? Spontaneous, ah. Misha is the only person who can really capture it. Yeah, that's definitely true. Her expression changes for a second, and changes back too quickly to digest, but I get the feeling that isn't meant to be pursued. What I really want to know about is, why do you and Lily fight so much? Tensing a little, and visibly frowning, Shizune tenses her fingers and overlays them repeatedly, as if shuffling an invisible deck of cards. Two fights that you know of aren't worth calling so much. If you had been here last year, you could say that. I heard it was a rough year. Something about how you tried to institute a badge policy? Haha, surprised? Well, I want to hear more about that later, definitely. But you don't like Lily very much, do you? Don't dodge my question. I'm not dodging anything. She was part of the student council until last year. We didn't get along very well. She wanted to keep doing things like the old student council did. The old student council was just so ineffectual. It was stupid and insulting. Ah, okay. So it was about the method of things, and which is the real difference, as not only like the work that they probably did during student council, but also their approach to being a class representative, right? It's very Shizune is just, I think I explained this before, but it's been a while, but Shizune is like, she only cares about results and doesn't really care about how the people, or how she doesn't really take into account how the people feel about how they get to those results, you know, whereas Lily really takes into account how her students feel, and just she connects to them on not only emotion level but a personal level as well, whereas Shizune is just, she almost treats her students, or the you know, her classmates, like they're just puppeteers or robots that have to do the work at all costs, just to get the result and the results that she wants and to get the work done. Whereas, you know, I don't know, it's just, Lily's feels definitely better, you know? At least if you're a classmate of hers. But the thing is, like, it depends what you care about, obviously. But it's just like, I think like the president of the school would probably prefer Shizune's approach more, because the president of the school probably cares more about results as well. But the students themselves probably appreciate and like Lily's approach more, because it's like, you know, it's more of a personal thing to them. They feel like they actually have some sort of saying whenever they have a complaint or actually, you know, do something. They want to do it rather than being forced to do it. And that's usually a big... That gets sometimes better results, actually. I wanted to do more and we had a fight. A lot of fights. She couldn't do anything on time. Then she said that what I wanted to do was meaningless, just extra busy work. Does it look like meaningless busy work to you? Shizune gestures around us. What's really meaningless is a student council that doesn't do anything. Weak, lazy, and boring. Especially boring. I couldn't get excited over sitting in a room with nothing to do. That's just a waste of time. Why would I even be there? It didn't get my blood flowing. Arguing with her does that. If she could have been that motivated before, she wouldn't have to put so much dedication into being my enemy. But if she shows that much spirit, it's not a complete loss. At least it's something. It's still exciting. I see. And what about the badge thing? She laughs, covering her mouth with her hand as if to hide it. Her laughter is the only thing she regularly tries to hide. That was just a joke. Really? I don't think Kenji took it as a joke. Having a little fun sometimes is important too.